Welcome to Reach TV and welcome to Virtual Camp! That's right, this is our second week of Virtual Camp. Now, we had an incredible week, and if you missed out on joining us for Virtual Camp, that's okay, because it's all posted, and we just did a weekly recap video where we talk about it all. We will have that linked below. But it's enough talking about the first week. We are in the second week of Virtual Camp, and it is totally free for you to join us. Just make sure you're subscribed. Or, if you want to join us and join a team for the entire summer, Camp in a Box, you are totally able to register for Camp in a Box. So make sure that you sign up for that. But it's time to move on. It's time to talk about the news. Welcome to the news. Now to start off, we're going to talk about some Circle C Ranch news. This morning at 10:45 a.m., the first episode of The Shootout was premiered. So if you have not checked out our Western TV series, make sure you do that. We have 6 more episodes, okay? So this is the first one, so go ahead and check that out after this video. But it's time to talk about world news. Our first story takes place in a grocery store, of all places. A guy was just trying to get his weekly broccoli when, lo and behold, inside of the broccoli was a caterpillar. And he has raised them ever since. They are going to be beautiful broccoli butterflies. Our second story is another story about nature. This time in Virginia, a pack of wild hogs took over the streets and blocked traffic. Check it out.
Onto the highway. Look at him in no type of rush, just like 95.
Aww.
This little piggy said your commute is ruined. Thankfully, nobody huffed and puffed and ran him over.
That's right, nobody huffed and puffed and ran them over, which is good. Our final story takes place in Washington. Michelle Brenner. She was let out of work, and so instead of sitting home and hiding out, she took it upon herself to feed those in need. And what did she make? She didn't make anything easy. Not any peanut butter and jelly, not macaroni and cheese, no. She made thousands of lasagnas. She is the lasagna lady. And Michelle, if you're watching, please send a lasagna this way. Now, that's all for the news. Our next segment is all about you. It's our weekly challenge, so let's send it over.
Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly challenge. This week we're getting a little bit creative. All you have to do is bake a cake representing your team. The team that sends in the most cakes wins. They get the most points. So make sure your cake is very nice and representing your team. Get really creative with it. That's what we like to see. And if you're not participating on Dalton's or Clanton's, you can send us your most creative Circle C themed cake. Off to you, Chloe.
Last week, we talked about the problem of sin and how sin separates us from God. And if that was the end of the story, there would really be no hope. But thanks be to God, who brought a solution, and that is Jesus Christ. In the Bible, it tells us in John 14:6 that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father except through Jesus. Jesus came to bring a solution for us. And if you're listening to this and you've never accepted Christ into your heart, there's a link down in the description below that's going to walk you through all of that. So reach out to us and tell us if you are looking to accept Christ into your life. So today, remember that no matter what the world may tell you, Jesus is the way. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Chloe. Now, we understand that a lot of you are super bummed that you're not here this summer, and we're super bummed too. So what we decided to do, we did this last week, we're doing it again for you. We are going to play a Circle C game and let you watch. So let's send it down to the Wild West Adventure Town.
Hey everybody, welcome to Reach TV. We're continuing our series in classic summer games, and the competition again gonna be crazy today because it's Drift Trike Crazy 8. That's right. These two drift tracks are gonna be crisscrossing a Crazy 8 course, man. We got guys versus girls. Who's gonna win? Let's find out. minute breaking news. There was a rules violation. The judges tell us the guys, they cheated when they had a little equipment trouble. Yeah. So guess what? The win goes to the ladies.
What's up? Welcome back to another segment of Table Talk. We are here at the table and we're talking, and I'm here with my friend Adam today.
Yes.
Say hello to the people, Adam.
Hey, what's going on? Man, it is so good to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
It's a big deal. Like, we're from Parkersburg, north, and we've been coming to Circle C every year for snow camp for like the past 20 years.
Right.
Something crazy.
And
like, we are just big fans.
you guys are legends.
Of this place. We're big fans of you.
Get out.
And your family.
No.
This means a lot, man.
Dude, I'm so happy you guys
It's
are here.
a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you guys drove a far way to be here.
Yeah.
And so your role is the student pastor?
Yes, I'm the student pastor. I get to hang out with everybody that is 6th grade up to 12th grade, which is great because I don't actually have to grow up.
That's the best.
I just get to stay in that age range.
Me too.
So yeah, it's awesome.
I know.
It's not great for my wife because
No.
I'm now just an
Right.
extra kid that she has to take care of.
I know. Chloe was not excited about that. I said to Chloe, I never want to grow up.
That's
I
it.
don't plan on it.
That's it.
She said, I want to marry a man. I was like, okay.
That's right,
I see
yeah.
what you're saying.
I see.
So this week we're talking about the solution. This is what we're talking about all week. And so the solution is Jesus Christ. The solution to the problem that we talked about last week is Jesus Christ. So my question for you, Adam, is when did you realize that giving your life to Jesus was the solution?
Man, that is a great question because that is the question, right? And so mine has stages to it.
Okay.
So I grew up a church kid. So from day one, man, I was in church. I think that, I may have been born in the baptism waters.
Yeah, I know.
Doctor held me out. My first word, I think, was Jesus. It was like one of those situations.
Sure.
I was a church kid. That's all I've ever known in my life. So I got saved when I was 8. And to be fair, to be really honest, I think one of the reasons I got saved when I was 8 because I knew at 8 if what life would be like if I didn't have Jesus.
Right.
Okay, so it was scary. So I want to go to heaven. So I'm going to say yes to Jesus. And then middle school hit, which, man, anybody you're in middle school, I feel it for you.
We feel you.
I feel you. It's tough.
It gets better.
You're gonna get through it. Middle school was hard.
Middle school is hard.
Oh man! And so when I got out of middle school, when I turned 16, I felt the call of God on my life to do ministry. So that was a big moment. So there was the initial moment where I'm 8 years old, grow up in church. You hear all the things you hear in church, and you learn about sin, and you know that there's a heaven and there's a hell, and I wanted to give my life to Jesus, and so I did at 8 years old. But then as I got older, you experience different things, and your thinking gets deeper. And so at 16, I felt the call to really give my life to Christ. Like, it wasn't just me and what I wanted, but it was what God wanted. So I had like a rededication moment, and I accepted the call to ministry. And then I actually started doing ministry that next year at 17. So I was a junior.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school and started working in churches and had been in ministry really that whole time. And so I was in ministry from 17 all the way through my late 20s. And then in my late 20s, I just ran away from the church.
Oh, okay.
I stopped doing ministry, and I started working in a completely different profession, and it was like 7 years.
Whoa, okay.
I walked away, and I ran, that's what sin is, right?
Yep.
So sin is this running away from God. It's this understanding that this is the way my life should be, but I don't want to do that for whatever reason. So I'm just going to run, right? And so that's why I like repentance. I think you guys were talking about repentance before, is running back to God.
Yeah.
So for me, my big moment happened in my early 30s. I'm 36 right now, so it was in my early 30s, and I was working at the business, and it was going well, but I realized one night, and I could take you right back there to the spot, I realized what it would take for that business to work, but really what it would take for anything in your life to work. For anything in your life to matter, what does it take? And the answer is it takes everything. And when I realized that, I knew that there were only 2 things in my life that I would give my life for. One was my family, and one was the gospel.
Whoa, okay.
And so in that moment, I felt like Jesus said, hey, like, Adam, are you tired of running like this game that we're playing, that we've been playing? I think it's time to stop. And I need you to give everything to me. I need you to take this gift completely. Even though at 8 years old, I accepted Jesus to my life. And even though at 16 years old, I accepted this calling. I had not actually given him everything. I've not actually taken that gift, and in so taking that gift, gave him my life. I hadn't done it. At 30 years old, I hadn't really done it.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it was just wild. Like, for someone who grew up for 30 years in their life being in church, I had not yet given everything. And so there in that place, I went on my knees, and it was just me in the place. No one else was there. We were closing it up, and I laid down on the ground. I said, whatever you want, it's yours. I don't care what it is. I'm done. It's all yours. I give you my life, and so it was a couple years after that moment. But I knew from that day on that God was doing something different, and then I'm just so thankful that He did. He called me back into ministry, and that's where I've been since then. And that was the day that I just let it go, and that was the solution that I have been looking for so long in my life, and it's amazing. I think it's something that I think we all deal with. We all have different phases that we grow in our faith, and we all have different ways that we're experiencing things. And so whether you've been at church for a week or you've been at church for your whole life, this whole idea of accepting Jesus completely and giving your heart to Jesus is something that we're all on a journey with.
Yeah, I bet anything. There's a lot of people that are watching right now that probably really resonate with what you just said. That, they've grown up in the church, maybe they had that moment where they realized, okay, I got to give my life to Christ, but they haven't given everything.
Exactly. Yes.
So what would you say to those people that are right at the maybe for the first time they just heard you say that and they're just like, oh my gosh, maybe I haven't given everything. Like, what do they need to hear, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think you need to look at your life and ask the question, what's really important to me?
Yeah.
Right? Because here's the thing, in order for anything in your life to be successful and anything to be great, you have to give everything to it. And what happens is there are people that will spend their lives giving their lives to something only to come to the end of it and realize it wasn't worth it. And there is only one person in this world who is worth it, and his name is Jesus.
Yes,
and
right.
So that's what we're trying to help you understand right now. And you don't have to wait till you were 30. Yeah. At my age, you right now, middle school, high school, younger than that, elementary school, you can make that decision right now and decide that I want Jesus to be number one of everything. So I think the first step is to take a hard, honest look about what's important in your life. Like, even write it down and say, if this was gone, how would I react? If this was gone, what if this wasn't there anymore? Would that be okay? Because I think once you start to do that, you start to realize, wow, I didn't realize this was that important to me.
Yeah. And
I'm realizing that this is now more important than Jesus in my life, and I'm going to have to work through that, because in the end, I want to be in a place where Jesus has absolutely everything in my life.
Wow. Yeah, and I can't imagine that's easy.
No, it's not. And I think it's just something that you have to go through, but you have to have the conversation. And that's why this is so great for us having the conversation, because maybe, like you said, people are listening to this and they've not thought of that before. And maybe this is a great moment for them to have that conversation with somebody. Yeah. To sit down and say, hey, I don't think I've given everything to Jesus. Can we talk through that? Because you have to talk through it. You got to say some things out loud to realize that, wow, he doesn't really have everything, but I want him to have everything.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that was awesome.
This is great. We love being here. If we lived closer, we'd just be here even more.
I know. I wish you did.
But, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So, guys, this week we are talking about the solution, and that is Jesus Christ. He is the solution to the problem. And honestly, if you guys have not taken a serious look at your life and you have not given everything to Jesus, this is the challenge to do that. But Adam, thank you again for coming on the show.
Yep,
we're going to send it to an outro.
Awesome.
Oh, all right. It is time for the moment that you've been waiting for. We are about to announce what team is in the lead after the first week of virtual camp. Is it the Daltons? Is it the Clantons? You guys have been competing. You've been doing the competitions, the weekly challenge. But right now, we're going to find out who did it the best. One team has 1,410,000 points, and another team has 1,725,000 points. It's a close week. Was it the Daltons? Was it the Clantons? The team that is in the lead right now going into week 2 is the Daltons! Congratulations, Daltons. You guys are ahead by this much. Clantons, you're right behind them, so don't give up. Make sure you're competing in all the ways that you can. And we will see you right here all week for week 2 of virtual camp. So I'm going to dismiss you by internet now so you can wash your hands and put on your Circle C smile. See you guys.